As I'm recording this, it is January 1st, 2024. And although what I'm about to say is going to sound like a New Year's resolution, it is really just the natural next step for me in where I'm at with my personal growth and expansion. And it just happens to be occurring around the new year. What I am moving into is a season of understanding how to clear my energy and detoxify my body. And just like everything else in life, this is going to be an ongoing journey. I don't see a end point to it. It's more of a understanding, unfolding part of life that I have a deeper awareness of now than I ever have in the past. What that means for me is letting go of judgments and micro judgments. And as I say that out loud, I know in my being that to expect to let go of all judgments is unrealistic. It's part of being human. We make judgments to keep us alive. we have to have judgment, right? However, having the awareness when we are judging is what makes the difference. And then using discernment along with that judgment to choose to integrate that judgment or to release it. And what I mean by that is if you're judging that the light is red and you are at the red light and should therefore not proceed forward into traffic, you've integrated that judgment. If you have the awareness that you're with a group of people who are making judgments and verbalizing criticisms about another person, that's a judgment where you would want to discern to most likely let that go and move on to a different topic. In general, judgments of that sort are not helpful. In fact, they are usually harmful, not only for the person who's being judged, but for yourself as well. Because when you're judging others, you're really judging yourself. And with microjudgments, what I've seen personally for myself the past month or so especially, I've been learning to allow my light language to flow through. And as I've been practicing that allowing, I've noticed microjudgments towards myself surfacing and providing me with the opportunity to release them. So let's say that I feel the light language wanting to come out and I allow it. One of the things I've noticed is that a lot of the times it has a specific pattern, specific tones, and when I hear that coming out of me, and my mind, my ego, which ego's not all bad, ego has its purposes too, but the part of the ego that's not helpful or that needs a little nurturing will come through and say, your light language doesn't sound like so-and-so's light language. Their light language has all different kinds of sounds and patterns, and yours is repetitive. Yours isn't real. So that's a little micro judgment. And that provides me with the opportunity to remind myself that what is flowing from me is what is meant to be. That's my specific, personalized contribution to the universal flow of energy. And that's going to be different than somebody else's light language. So that's a little micro judgment. And I've noticed a lot of those and a lot of opportunities to release them. And when I say release, I mean I'm reflecting on it. I'm not just pushing it out of my mind and forgetting about it. I'm allowing me to look at my ego and say, thank you for that information. And at the same time, this is how we're going to address that information. And we're going to love ourselves, and we're going to allow ourselves, and we're going to allow our being to be who we are and let go of our internal judgments. Thank you so much. I love you. And our light language is going to flow like this. One of the things that I keep going back to, which helps me to be in the place where I'm at now, in the place where my next natural step is focusing on clearing and detoxifying, is to connect with life, connect with the universal flow of life, connecting with the patterns of life. And there are a lot of ways that that can occur. One of the things that I've been using as a tool is a book called The Wisdom of the Whole. It is sectioned into seasons, and each of the seasons has identified patterns and medicines, whether it's plant medicines, earth medicines, things like that, all described within each season that help me to ground into the season, not only mentally as I'm reading it, but on an energetic level as I'm feeling it in my body, and physical level as I'm actually going outside and experiencing the season in real life. Getting in touch with the moon cycles, understanding the moon cycles and rhythms. Recognizing the daily cycles. The sun comes up, the sun goes down. And honoring those and feeling the connection. Looking at the sun as it's rising, especially on my way to work, there's some really beautiful sunrises. And right now, since it is January and I drive to work around 6:30 in the morning, I don't see as many sunrises at this time, but I do get to see the sunsets in my backyard as I look out the window. Connecting with nature, that really helps me to ground, to be grounded in my body and centered in my being. And I also have a daily practice where I connect with my being, really, with my higher self. Each morning, I will do some yoga positions. I'll do some body brushing, loving on my body, gentle touch, and I will practice Gasho. It's a Reiki practice. And I will do some Reiki or healing touch, and I will connect with my line, which is another practice that I've learned from Ashley Himalayan, if you wanted to look her up. And the book, I believe, is called Align Within. And then depending on the day and where I'm at, I will meditate and connect with my higher self or angels, spirit, whatever feels like is wanting to come through and what I'm wanting to connect with. The ultimate goal each time I'm doing that is to connect with the vibration, with the frequency of love. And depending on what type of questions I have that I'm looking for answers to, I will connect with the vibration of love and call upon the frequency of that being that generally works with that type of energy, if that makes sense.